A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are tuned in to the hotspot. Welcome aboard. We are live again to talk Manchester United as we do get proper into this very, very tight situation we find ourselves into and try to understand it, talk about it, and reflect on it. Well, I do welcome you yet again for this live. It will be another short one, perhaps about 30 minutes of talking strictly Manchester United, but guys, boy, aren't we in trouble now? The big conversation, the big debate concerning United globally now is first of all whether or not Eric Ten Hag should be banned or rather should be sacked as manager of Manchester United. And many people have got their opinions, and it's interesting that people who were so mad at Eric Ten Hag and feeling like he should go like yesterday are now beginning to be concerned because it seems serious that actually there might be a truth in the talk about him being sacked. But the question is, who could be the right replacement for Eric Ten Hag in the event that he was sacked? Because trust you me, results are not going to change overnight. Based on what we've seen, me and you will sit here and agree that results will take time. And question is he going to be given the time? Now, Fulham next on Saturday. It will obviously be a tough game from the Londoners, and if this one doesn't go well for Ten Hag, obviously the conversations about him being sacked will start holding water. I'm asking you now, in your view, who would be the perfect replacement for Eric Ten Hag? Now, there have been lots and lots of managers. He has been uh, who have been linked with this tough Manchester United job, from managers who have never managed at United to those who have been there before. And case in point is Jose Mourinho. I know of people who feel that what Manchester United should do is correct the wrong to some that they made years ago when they parted ways with Jose Mourinho, who is now forging life at AS Roma in Italy. So they feel Jose Mourinho should be the one returning to take charge of Manchester United. To be honest, I first of all don't think Jose Mourinho as well would really love to join Manchester United, to return at Manchester United unless there are certain assurances. Of course, not that he's not a guy who goes back to his exes. We've seen him go back to Chelsea. But I feel like the whole Manchester United project will not attract any serious manager in the world. And Jose Mourinho is obviously one of the few serious managers in world football. I think he tested it. He saw how messed up it was. Unless there are certain assurances, I don't see Jose Mourinho being excited a lot by the idea of him returning to manage at Old Trafford. So for me, that's one. But also, I also feel like Jose Mourinho is soon becoming a manager of the past. I feel like the game is shifting away from him and his style, and that's why he's at AS Roma. Yet there are so many other bigger clubs, perhaps that you thought could be better suitors for him. But I feel like Jose Mourinho was figured out. He's still a top coach, don't get me twisted. But I think he's one for the past. He's not one for the future. The game has changed today. Look at the best managers in the world today. Talk of Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. Talk of Mikel Arteta. Talk of Pochettino. Now Postecoglou, who is now emerging as one of those. Jabi Alonso. So you think about all these managers and the kind of football they play, their approach to management, and you think I clearly Jose Mourinho's style is a bit olden. I don't think that's what we need in the Premier League. I don't think he will really put us where we want to be because, in my view, Manchester United right now needs a manager who is going to uh, restart. And by restarting, you see what Mikel Arteta did at Arsenal. But for that to happen, he has got to be given that direction that we want you to restart this club, and it's a proper, holistic direction taken by the club, understood by the fans, and appreciated by everyone, every stakeholder in the club. They would know that we would need to overhaul this club because I think many of us will agree that this entire Manchester United squad needs a complete overhaul. Even before we get to the manager, the reality is none of our players is performing except Rasmus Højlund. I think there is need for a proper complete overhaul. Maybe not, of course, you cannot let go of all players at once. But you see, Mikel Arteta sort of overhauled Arsenal, but in such a subtle way. Think about how Mikel Arteta cleanly and subtly let go of players like Ozil. He lost top players who still had football in them are Aubameyang, Lacazette. He lost players like Chaka, Granit Chaka. He cleaned his house slowly and brought in his young boys, and they are performing for him. So I think United needs such a manager. Erik ten Hag was viewed as that kind of manager when he joined in, but for me, I think one of the reasons why he's struggling now is because of the expectations that everyone has got of him, based on what he made us believe because of how Man United performed last season. We finished third in a season where many felt were way, way, way below of the rest. We are way below, top performance. So finishing third to many showed us that this is the magician we need. Giving Man City a run for their money in the FA Cup final, winning the Carabao Cup in his first 12 months in charge. So obviously the excitement was there. But now seeing how things are going, it shows you that maybe certain things were not perhaps right even when Ten Hag came and changed things around at the club. Perhaps a lot of things were not right at this club. So for me, I think yes, Ten Hag proved to be that kind of manager, but when he came in and performed the way he did in the first season, the expectation changed, and now things are not happening for him at United, and people are saying no, he's not the one. But also, I think everything is happening so fast and it's becoming a mess day in and day out. By the day, it gets worse. So even when the board is assuring us they want to give him time, he's in the dressing room begging players to stick together and have the belief and confidence that they will fight back. You get a sense that the whole situation now is a mess, and it is beginning to look like the situation was with David De Gea, when a point reached when everyone, perhaps many people, wanted De Gea out of Man United, and that whatever he did, certain people wanted him. Now it's not there yet with Erik ten Hag, but we are headed there based on how we perform in the next games. But judging by the past games we've seen, you don't see hope for a lot of change. You don't see hope for improvement. If it's going to come, it will take time. Question is how much time, and will he be given that time? So that's the debate, and that's why talks of him being sacked can actually hold water if you've been following United critically and you know the magnitude of this club, but also the fact that a new owner, in terms of a new co-owner who is going to run football matters, is coming in. He certainly will want to come in and refresh things around and all. Is Erik ten Hag being sacked the solution? Maybe, maybe not. But if results don't come soon for him, it will be the only solution, because this is Manchester United. But now going back to Jose Mourinho, I don't think for me he would be the ideal manager for Manchester United. I think that he would be a stopgap measure, but also even his stopgap approach to football, which is not exactly rebuilding, he's a winner. I don't think any manager in the world, not even Pep Guardiola, not even Sir Alex Ferguson the Great, would win a single major title with this Manchester United squad. Not at all. In fact, credit Ten Hag the magician for winning that Carabao Cup with these guys. These players are just they are what's the word? They are frauds of sorts. They're just not good enough. You wonder how they got into Manchester United. No wonder. And people have been questioning the scouts and the people who run this club, and that's why, of course, we keep saying the problem of United is beyond just the manager, because it's not by coincidence that all good managers have failed before, including the Jose Mourinho, so that some of you feel should return. But the problems of United are huge, that even the scouting system for me can be questioned. In fact, United is believed to have hired a scouting guy from, I think Cardiff City. So we saw the doctors, we saw how we've hired a legendary doctor from Arsenal. So a lot has got to change about this club, and that is why maybe Erik ten Hag could be given the time to try and change things around. But a lot has changed around Manchester United, and of course Erik ten Hag is trying to change so many things around the club. But the rot is beyond just the manager, and it's from the top, from the Glazers, from the wrong people they hired, because the football department of United is a mess. The business makes sense, and that's why the Glazers want to stick to it. They have admitted football is not for them, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been given 25% to run the football. The Glazers enjoy their money. How greedy. The structure of this whole deal with the Glazers just shows you exactly what we've been talking about for months and months, that the Glazers are all about money, for years actually. So, but anyhow, so getting back to the debate of who you think would be the perfect replacement for Eric Ten Hag? For me, Mourinho is out. Now, second is Zinedine Zidane. Now, Zidane, for me, I don't think would love to take on Man United in the current state we are in. I think any top manager in the world would need certain assurances to be able to take on Manchester United, unless you're desperate, which I don't think is the case with Zinedine Zidane. But also his, lack of, unless now in the sabbatical he took, he's been learning English when he left Real Madrid. It's obviously for him going to be, he's a proud guy. He's French, really. French guys, I think, are naturally proud people. You don't see him bend on his standards. He's coached at Real Madrid and succeeded. He's probably begged and wanted, and he says this over 50 clubs want him, or teams want him. So I don't think United would be his best suitor, with PSG in his native country wanting him, with probably several national teams hoping they can get him. So for me, Zinedine Zidane, whereas for me he would be a dream guy, seeing him on the touchline at Old Trafford for me would be a dream come true, because I enjoyed him as a player. He's a classy guy who would clean up you know that club because of his class. He's all about class, everything he does, even the way he played football. But I don't see him, and Man United now, from what we know, what is around us, what we see, there is no class in Man United. Look at how they deal with players, legends of the club. There is no class. I think Man United defines everything Zinedine Zidane would not want. So for me, I don't see Zidane really as a serious contender. Now, Ruud van Nistelrooy is the other. He last managed in his native German, Denmark, Netherlands, at PSV Eindhoven, and of course he was let go of and he's unattached right now. But it's it's uh, it's it's very difficult to think of Ruud van Nistelrooy as a guy who would be right to come into the mess, but it would actually make sense, because one of the things I feel, and this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tried. If you ask me, I think of all managers post Sir Alex Ferguson, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think for me, rates highly among those who try to perform at United. And the reason why Solskjaer tried to perform partly for me is because, one, his character, two, his him being a legend of the club, the fact that he's a legend of Manchester United, that as well for me added in terms of him being able to command a certain level of respect from the players. I think these young players of today need managers who can sort of inspire them in terms of the football they have played. They have watched them play their videos on YouTube. I was seeing something about Jude Bellingham and how he said his dad used to put on Zinedine Zidane jerseys, and he would Bellingham did not watch Zidane play. He's only, I think, 19 now. He did not watch Zinedine Zidane play, but because his dad used to put on Zidane jerseys, he went on YouTube and looked for videos of Zinedine Zidane, and he was so impressed with what he saw that he wanted to do everything that Zidane did in football, and he wanted to be everything that Zidane was. Now, because he was inspired. So imagine Zidane coaching Jude Bellingham. I think he would be inspired and he would want to play for him. He would die for him. He would listen. He would respect him. These managers who did not play football, I think, are increasingly becoming sort of rejected by these players, the generations of today. And the fact that there are so many managers who played football who are performing decently well, it then also makes it difficult for those who never played the ball at all, like Ten Hag, to command respect of certain players at a certain level, unless you're already established, you're up there. So for me, I think for that reason, Van Nistelrooy is, I think, one of, if you talk legends at United, Van Nistelrooy is up there. He was he was a whole different striker. I don't need to go to mention and brag and praise Van Nistelrooy a lot. His records speak for him. Those who watched him, So for me, I think he also understands the club in terms of the character, but also the fact that he has coached before at PSV. Not that PSV is a club at the level of Man United, but I feel like he can build a team and he can be trusted by the fans and given the time. So of all people who people look at, of all managers who people look at as possible replacement, of course, there is also talk of the Sporting Lisbon boss. That's what's his name again? The Sporting Lisbon guy. Let me get it for you so that I don't mess it up. So the Sporting Lisbon coach as well is another guy people are looking at. That's another manager again, and little known for me. That would be more of another Erik ten Hag or Ralf Ragnick, and for me, that's not the manager for these players. I think these players, because it's difficult to overhaul the squad and just bring in new players, only new players. It's difficult. It's easier to sack the manager and replace them. For me, I think if you brought the Sporting Lisbon guy, what you're doing then, Ruben Amorim, that's the name. What you're doing is again testing. You're trying out something with a manager who has got potential, but obviously will not command respect from these players. So for me, you want a manager who will immediately come into that dressing room, inspire these players, and command respect. So if United think about letting go of Erik ten Hag, it is better be. He's got to be a legend, a player, a former footballer, perhaps a legend of the club, Man United. There are some people who actually say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should return. I don't think so. But for me, it's got to be a legend of the club. That's the only way these players are going to be inspired. They are going to be challenged. They are going to listen. They are going to respect. For me, that's what I think. But going for these Jose Mourinho's, for some of these unproven managers, for me, I think does not really work. I think does not really work. But you can let me know your opinion. And whether you think Erik ten Hag should be sacked. Does it make sense to talk about sacking ten Hag right now, or should we stick with our man and hope that things will turn around? Football is an interesting game, and more so the Premier League is such a fast league that you lose a few games, it becomes so difficult for you to catch up with them. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to see how that will go for Erik ten Hag. But for me, I think for now, the right thing for United to do is to stick with him, stick with our manager for now at least, but also hope that Erik ten Hag will do favors for himself and do the right thing, make the right selections, get this team playing football, looking like they are a managed side, looking organized. I hope that is what we see against Fulham. If that is not the case, it's then going to be difficult for anyone anywhere in the world to come out and try to defend Erik ten Hag. It's going to be so difficult for anyone to defend Erik ten Hag, because clearly the performances are not there. They are not coming through for Manchester United. But let me know your opinion about the whole Manchester United situation in the comment section. But also like the video as we do return to our lives. We are returning slowly but surely. We are trying to be consistent. The sound is not yet okay. I'll fix it slowly, guys. I'll fix it. I'm trying to fix it, but I don't know. It's just a new mixer. This is a new mixer, but it seems it's not doing it right. But it's okay. We'll fix it. At least you can hear me for now. I'll get it perfect for you. Tomorrow, I'm sure we'll sort the sound issue, and that's why I'm not staying here for so long with my live videos and all. I just want to put these messages across. We'll get this sound right. Don't you worry. But first, Erik ten Hag has got to get things right with his management of Manchester United. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb, guys. Let me know what you think about the whole Manchester United situation in the comment section. But what we know is that there are rumors that Zinedine Zidane has been contacted again by Man United. Fabrizio Romano has said these rumors are not true. Remember, Zinedine Zidane was wanted by Man United before Erik ten Hag emerging. But also, there is talk of Jose Mourinho can possibly return. There is also, of course, other potential candidates for the Man United job. But who on earth would take up this United job? It's a case of so hot, but it's looking so attractive, but too hot to touch. The Man United job is so attractive, but trust you me, You don't want to grow old in maths like Eric Ten Hag is. Boy, the guy is so stressed. My goodness. I don't think there is a harder job in the world than being manager of a club like Manchester United. I don't think so. I don't think so. Tell me which one. I don't think there's a harder job in the world anywhere than being manager of Manchester United. So Eric Ten Hag, I've not been there, but I can try to imagine what it feels to be him. And if there is one person I wouldn't want to be in the world now, right now, it is Eric Ten Hag. No way. No way. That's not a job for me. Anyhow, that was my job today, to just come and just put it to you. Who do you think of those, if any, you can even mention others, could be or would be the perfect replacement for Eric Ten Hag in the event that we went there? Is Ten Hag close to the sack? He is, if he doesn't turn things around. But who knows? Things could change. Let me know your opinion. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. Guys, I need to keep working on my sound. I will back with longer live videos or live broadcasts when this sound is 100% and we are getting there. Stick with me. Thank you for subscribing. I'll catch you later.